show him your loving. I've just lost what I was going to say. It was something along the lines of reach out your loving arms and wrap them around Cahal O Sullivan. Cheers, Frank.
Standing in my garden, soaked in gin, sprinkling the daisies alone. From above the chimneys you peek, watching my crime, encouraging me into the night to leave this place, for the park beckons. And there is a space where we should meet, as creatures of the night, against the shadows and the eyes of the watchful. We will sink again in time into the loss of our own name. I thought I would say that one first because I don't know how you explain that because it's weird. But then the other ones I can't explain, so I explained this one. Nearly 2 years ago, I lost a friend, and Derry lost a very, very good man called Sean Moran. And on hearing that he had died, I wrote this, and it's sort of, well, I'd written before, but then I sort of got back into writing, so it was nearly 2 years ago. But I wrote this, hearing that. When I am gone, will there be trumpets, fanfare and applause in the air? When I am gone, will there be anger, nothing but jeers abound? When I am gone, will there be silence, a cold and forgotten sense about the ground? Or, when I am gone, will there be a voice, sounding with it only the irk of life, with joy, disdain, anger and love, but never with indifference? This is quite recent. I wrote this one recently to do with LGBT issues. Jim Wells has resigned. But they're going to replace him with another fucking homophobic bastard anyway. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, with fucking Poots. I was talking to someone earlier and I said, Putin has resigned, but I meant to say Poots, but but yeah, it's the same thing. But I was chatting to friends recently, and an awful lot of people in a circle of my friends aren't aware of the pink triangle of the Second World War. They know all about the Star of David that Jews had to wear, and that's. But a lot of people didn't know that homosexual people had to wear a pink triangle. And this is called the pink triangle. It's about 2 women in the Second World War who were captured and made to the punishment that the Nazis did was very psychological. They made them carry a brick from there to there, and they weren't allowed to speak to each other. She scoops down, picks up the stone, in her hands places it. Her eyes meet hers in silence. April came, and its sun reminded her of when they sat outside on the lawn. She'd pick up the pot and pour clear red tea into hers. Now her back aches. She stoops to scoop that rock again. To her she hands, and still they watch. And this is one I've written recently that I think is Abby there. Abby's seen this and she likes this. I think she likes it. She knows it though. I sat on the animal-worn leather sofa, drunk from 3 nights before. The cat, the middle of the 3, she screeches at an unseen fly. If she could sing Danny Boy, she would, and I'd believe it. Typing at the keys with animal dander dancing from thumb to index finger, Beckett sings in the background as Rickman's voice scrapes along my back. Just there I slipped on the keys and upward altered the beginning line. She meows again, this time I see him, her enemy, that evil fly.
Nice one, Cahal O Sullivan. Get up and do some polls. I hope you'll come back next month, Cahal. Especially now that our drink tokens have gone so upmarket. This one is yours, Cahal. It has your name on it. Yes.
I thought you got one for your phone.
Yeah, that's what you dreamt about. Okay, so next up, he's going to be doing an excerpt from his play Home, which will be on July the 1st to the 4th in the Waterside Theatre. Now you can find more info about that in the Waterside Theatre brochures that are on some of your tables. Please put your hands together for Paul Moore!
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be reading from Home, which we've been working on for about 2 years, and I'll explain how as I go along. I won't be here for the next cure because I'll be in rehearsal in Liverpool, which I'm really looking forward to. Home is really a play that this week I realised in a way is a bit too close to home at the moment. It's a play about migration. It's about people who have to leave their home and have to find another one. And with events that have unfolded in the last week or so, I've begun to get quite frightened of it myself, to be quite honest. In creating Home, I've drawn from my own experience. I was 10 when I was transported to Australia. I'm not even sure what crime I did. I have drawn on that a lot, and part of the character, Jimmy, he reverts back to his child self, and it's an amazing thing. I don't know if anybody else here has actually emigrated, but as a child it's an amazing thing. It's like a whole new world opens up. I've also, we've gone out and we've got interviews from people. We sought out refugees and migrants in Australia. We got a little bit of money from the British Council, so we got to Australia. In China at the moment, Brian Bridges is working away. He's our composer, and you'll hear a bit from his work tonight as well. In Liverpool we've been working, and we've been working here too. And John and I this afternoon just started to try and put things together. So hopefully when I'm reading here we'll get a little bit of the sound effects, and you never know, you might even hear your own voice. All right. Oh, the other thing I should tell you about Jimmy is based on a character that I met in Sydney. He's what we call in Australia a swaggy, which means that he's a bloke that just walks around from place to place. And Jimmy Two Hats turned up in Sydney at about, in the year 2000, and he plonked himself down on the top of the cliff at Bondi and decided that that's where he wanted to be, which is prime real estate. No one's allowed to be there apart from very rich people. So Jimmy climbed down the cliff and he found a cave, literally. And so he took me back to his cave eventually when he thought I was all right. And we used to sit there and we used to look at the Pacific, and you could honestly see the curvature of the earth. That's prime real estate. So this is a little extract that we put together from Home.
Gran, school here, even school's all right. The people teaching me, they look like hippies. They look like the civil rights lot from back home, only they're more civil. And they have these open plan classrooms, like they've taken all the walls away. And you won't believe this, there's girls in my classroom. I'm allowed to sit next to them. And they teach this thing called sexual education from a book, Where Did I Come From? It's a good question. It's got pictures of people with no, well, you know, rude things. Only they're not real people. They're just drawings. And it's about babies and things, and tadpoles and eggs. And this girl in my class called Sue Petherick, she comes up to me and she touches my shoulders and she says, "You're my wee Jim." Oh, but you know what's best of all, Gran? Running off into the hills. Because Gran, man, Dad's was fighting. Dad's drinking all the time. Says he wants to go home. There's no work. He says he's too far from home. So I go to my bedroom and I just climb out the bedroom window early in the morning, at night, whenever they're fighting, and they're fighting all the time. I'm wagging school and into the hills I go. This land's teaching me. All alone in the bush. My body moves through the land, and the land moves through my body. I'm changing, Gran. My skin's growing darker, my hair's growing lighter, and my voice is becoming like theirs. It's rising with each sentence. My favourite time is dusk, when the bush goes all soft and golden, and the smells of gum and straw and dust, they come up and they whisper in my nose. Oh, I miss you, Gran. I miss you. The ghost gum's smooth white limbs wave in slow motion as gully winds blow gusts of hot air thick as water. Eucalypt, powdery green and grey, becomes melted haze above the treetops. The screaming cockatoos turn at right angles and tear the sharp blue sky. It's inside me, Gran. It's inside me. Listen. Listen. It's the voices. It's the voices out at sea. Ich bin verloren.
I am lost. Je veux trouver un chez moi. Where is my home?